Happy New Year, one and all. How the devil are you? We're back. The Christmas season is gone. It's over. It's just like blink and you miss it. It just I don't know. It's like every year it seems to start that little bit earlier, and it seems to go on forever. And the actual event itself, it's like gone. Who knows? But anyway, cheers everyone. Happy New Year. We're back into the regular swing of things. And usually it's people will say, oh, for the new year, we've got some exciting changes planned. I haven't. I'm just going to be blundering along in exactly the same way that you become accustomed. And, because maybe I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing. Cheers, everyone. Still working my way through the Christmas rations. Carter's 3.5% guzzling beer from Aldi, and very palatable it is too. Anyway, so hope you've all had a fantastic time. I know I certainly did. Much needed. You know when you don't realise how much you need a break until you're having a break, and you wake up for several days in a row thinking, I don't have anything to do today. And it was marvellous. Anyway, let's. I'm a little bit out of practice with this. I'm still kind of resurrecting myself from my Christmas slumber. Let's have a look and see who's first in. Dave Fiendish is first through the door today for the first beer o'clock of 2026. Then we've got Francis Chambers, PFY Guitars, and David James. There's Paul Trainer, the resident bass player. And who else have we got? We've got Rubbish Guitar Bloke. We've got Peter Collins. Johnny Random is in. Lots of Happy New Year wishes. And I'll second that. Anyway, let's scroll down a little bit. We've got Amadeus, we've got Vincent Brennan in a chilly Clyde Valley. Terry Day is in, so is John Ross and Bev Doyle, the artist formerly known as Theme Tunes. We've got Bev Doyle and Theme Tunes in together. Is that some kind of split personality going on there? Anyway, we've got Dr. Gomez, we've got Snackham, we've got Ingrid, we've got Francis Chambers, and there's Ian Clark. We've got Stephen Hedger, we've got Anton, regular of this parish, and Chris Ottowell Guitars, Frank Boland, Mark Card is in, so is Johnny D, Austin Barrett, Robin Fawcett, Brad Dowell, and Peter Hall. We've got Blue Sofa songs in there as well, mate. Hope your Christmas song got some good views. And then there's Colin Falcon. And who else have we got? Session guitar legend Mr. Gary Shaw is in as well. Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Then William Forrest, 60s man, Thomas Mulvaney, Triple Distilled, and Paul Trainer, generous to a fault every week. A couple of quid in the tip jar. Thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated. Then a gentleman who I'll be having a Zoom call with tomorrow, because we have a regular kind of Saturday session where I'm, it's supposed to be a guitar lesson. We do get some guitar lesson stuff done, but we quite often have quite a bit of a natter as well. That's Darren Myers. Mr. Chris is in, and so is my unofficial, or is he official now, head of global marketing, Grandpa Joe. Happy New Year, Fattercasters. Think about a musical reset. Give your fingers some help. Let one of John's books guide them in the fretboard. They are a logical approach to understanding what you're doing. Well, thank you so much, Joe. Always banging the drum for me there. We've got Paul and his guitars. We've got, let's have a look down. We've got Muleman72. Malcolm Spillett is in. So is Adrian Laws and Jay Aoyong. Who else have we got? There's Cal Texper. Nice to see you, mate. And let's just scroll down a little bit. David Ray and my old pal Fam Toonan. That's Mr. Edwin Toonan over there in a cold and rainy Amsterdam. The Daler 22 is in. So is Casey Lee 01. and excuse me, the chat just jumped then. You had something to say there, and the chat has just gone. Oh, there we go. Saying, I'm usually at work when you have these hangs, but I'm off work today, so I'm super happy to be here. It's noon where I am, so I'll toast you with a cup of coffee. Yeah, well, noon is kind of borderline, isn't it? Is the sun over the yard arm yet, or is it not? Who else have we got? Rexamatic is in, joining a few minutes late. Happy New Year, everyone. Same to you, mate. Gordo Canuck is in, and there's Mark Kerno. Gary Shaw, I made a resolution that I'll never make another one. Stephen Bruton, great singer-songwriter and killer guitar player. Nice one. Bill Mumbo is in. Anyone else? We've got Strumming Ronin, and we've got the legend that is the Lamb. With a bit of a super chat there. Thank you so much, mate. Gave up the booze on Christmas Day, not touch a drop since. He's for a nice cordial or a cuppa instead. Well, yes. No, I'm afraid I'm dedicated to my cause. You know, the one concession I've made is that I've gone to a guzzling lager, a 3% lager from the premium kind of Heineken Carlsberg export kind of thing, and that wasn't even a health conscious thing. It was just with those strong lagers, you know, I go from sober to being asleep. And there's, you know, I just seem to bypass that kind of desired phase of the procedure. But with the more gradual kind of effect of this weaker stuff, I tend to. Am I an old man? Am I just getting old? It's probably the sort of thing my dad would have said years ago. Anyway, who else have we got? I think that might be everybody. Triple X Paps is in, and Steve Cassidy Guitar. No doubt you've got a video going out straight after this live stream, mate. And if you have, everybody head over to Steve's channel and check him out. And Lamb saying it's mostly to break the habit and for the avoidance of gout. won't be forever. I sure. Gout. Yes, I had a mate who had that once upon a time, and you know, it was apparently not pleasant. I've been blessed to have avoided it, and you know, well, it's Friday, and Friday without a good few cold beers, it just doesn't feel right. And then, well, Saturday, that's the weekend. So, you know, it's that's just the law. Sunday, well, you know, there's bound to be some left on Sunday. Then Monday's a long day, isn't it? Monday's the long day. I have a busy Monday usually and a late finish on a Monday. So, you know, well, it'd be cruel to deny, you know, some kind of reward at the end of all of that. And then we'll see how we get on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Let's have a look. Mr. Cassidy is saying, it's a 40-minute premiere tonight, right after this. The channel's third birthday. Oh, congratulations, mate. Congratulations on your anniversary. And there's Fam Tunin with a very generous super chat. Thank you so much, mate. We're going to be having our first takeaway of 2026 tomorrow night, probably from the local kebab shop, you know, because they do a really nice doner kebab. They do a really nice parmo as well. Muleman's saying Canadian jacket, John, a Christmas present from the wife. I apologise for the lack of the Fatacasters t-shirt, but it's in the laundry basket at the moment. What's that? Gary Shaw saying, my father was a special branch detective. Never trust a man without a vice. Indeed. You know, well, you know, mine's easy to. I got so many bottles of whiskey this year for Christmas. I got a bottle of whiskey from my mother-in-law. I got a bottle of whiskey from my brother-in-law. I got a bottle of whiskey from a mate of mine that came up and stayed with us over Christmas. And I got a bottle of whiskey sent very generously to me by somebody who's probably watching now. You know who you are. And I got a bottle of rum as well. Lovely rum. I'm not usually a rum drinker. some Panamanian kind of premium rum. But I don't normally drink rum, but dear me, that was beautiful stuff. It has long since gone, and it's not gone through evaporation, I can promise you. So yes, my vices seem to be well known, it has to be said. Paul Trainer, whiskey and coffee, John. Good for you, mate. Anyway, I better tell you what's coming up on the channel this week, hadn't I? As we're into sort of something approaching the normal routine. Sunday's video is the full review of that Washburn Idol that you might have seen my first impressions of yesterday. Then on Monday, we have a video that's I can't remember what's in this actually. I just got a list of the videos that I've made and when they're going out, but I make them that early on that I often forget what's in there. Anyway, its working title was Contrast in Soloing, so I think it's possibly something to do with how to use what meagre supply of flashy bits that you might have if you're anything like me. Then Tuesday, a top 5 Tuesday that was suggested, I think, on this very live stream. My 5 favourite motion picture soundtracks. Wednesday's video is another one of these kind of... I beg your pardon. I sound like Bob Fleming here, aren't I? Another one of these kind of theory-ish videos. It's all about intervals. I've done videos on intervals before, but it's been a good few years, so I thought I'd revisit that topic. If you've ever been confused what people are talking about when they talk about a 9th or an 11th or a 6th or anything like that, or a 5th, then that video is for you. And hopefully I also show you, how it's of practical use to you, which is where a lot of theory-based videos tend to stop. Then Thursday, excuse me again, I need some more lubricant. And I need to turn this fan heater off as well. Thursday's video is my first impressions of possibly the most recognisable signature model guitar ever. You think of signature model guitars, there's a Gibson Les Paul. People often kind of forget that is a signature model guitar. And then there's another one. There's another guitar which is pretty much uniquely identified with one specific player, and you probably already know who I'm talking about then. So that's this week on the channel. This cough just seems to come and go. I haven't got a cough. It just seems to crop. Well, I do know what it's about. It's some meds that I'm on. Oh, dear me. Stephen Hedger. Loved the hamsters. Sorry to hear Andy, the bass player, has left us. I didn't know that. I saw the hamsters a few times. What was it? Snail's Pace Sim. And was Andy the one that was known as the Reverend Otis Elevator? Because they all had like pseudonyms, didn't they? Yeah, I saw them a couple of times at, when guitarists used to do these little mini NAMM type shows at various places around the country. They played a couple of those and absolutely stormed it. Brilliant. Jay, are we only saying Gibson Lucille? No, it's not a Gibson Lucille, mate. Oh, I see we've got Searching for Toning. Nice to see you, mate. Blue Sofa Songs. Yes, the old ones are the best, mate. I went on the only drink whiskey diet. I lost 5 days. Yes. Budget pedal chap. A 9th is just a second in wearing a fancy hat. Yes, it is, mate. And I'm going to use that line next time I do a video about intervals. Not an EVH Frankenstein. Think a little bit more bohemian, and that might give you a clue. No, not a Santana PRS or a Hendrix Strat. As I said, just think a little bit more bohemian, and not an Ibanez Gem. No, I mean, how big a clue do I need to drop? Think a little bit more bohemian. Is it a JR Agrajag television? Says Peter Hall. No. Red Special, yes, Red Special, the Bohemian The Bohemian clue seems to have landed there. I've played the Harley Benton kind of copy of that guitar, and that was a nice guitar, but it didn't have the sort of Brian May wiring, which this, I think it's the BMG Red Special or whatever it's called. It's not the actual guitar that Brian plays, because obviously there's only one of those in existence, and some high-end replicas made by a luthier, I think, called Greg Fryer, that Brian uses as backups. But the company that Brian founded to kind of build relatively affordable. I mean, they're not a cheap guitar, relatively affordable. Versions of his own guitar, and it was very kindly loaned to me by a chap in the comments, a chap in the chat there, Mr. PFY Guitars. Let's have a look. No, it's not the Giacomo Tura D'Angelico, Steve. No, it's not that one. Let's have a look. Malcolm Spillett saying, I have a blue red special made by Brian May Guitars. That does sort of, kind of confuddle me a little bit. If you are a Brian May devotee and you want that guitar, surely you want it in the same colour as Brian's guitar. You look on the website and they're available in all kinds of different colours, and you just think, well, who's buying the green one? Is that somebody with colour blindness? Because red and green do get that is the colour, the most common form of colour blindness, I'm told. But it's like, I can't quite kind of make the mental leap as to find out why somebody would want that specific a guitar associated with that particular guitar player and nobody else, but you want it in a different colour. It's anyway. I'm sure it all makes, as we say about when Dougal, our lovely four-legged companion in this house, when he's doing something that you just can't quite get your head round. I look at the wife and I say, well, it probably makes sense inside his head, and there's that's what we say when there's no explanation. Muleman is saying they don't have the same kind of tremolo that Brian has on the original, like the black and gold one. Yeah, they are, they are a tribute to his guitar, really, rather than a replica of it. I guess they're just trying to keep the price down to something that's below the magic four-figure kind of barrier that we all have in our head. I think it's the same reason why, when the Epiphone Greenie came out, I just thought, no, I'm not paying a four-figure price tag for an Epiphone. I'm just not. Because that's one of those barriers, isn't it? When it goes to when you've got to kind of have over £1,000 for a guitar, I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, it is a bit of a mental block that I can't quite get past in terms of what I'm prepared to pay for certain brands. Malcolm Spillett saying, I bought the blue one in GAC Guitars in Brighton, and that's the only one they had. I guess that's as good a reason as any, mate. Yes, So, I just want to got a couple of little bits of housekeeping here that I want to clear up. The Blue Guitar Amp 1 is no longer residing at Robson Towers. It was collected by the Parcel Force Courier today, and it's off to a new home. I was almost kind of sorry to see it go, but my heart now belongs to the UAFX Lion pedal. That gives me the tone I need. Do I need a 100-watt amplifier where all I'm doing is taking the recording output and putting that through a set of studio monitors? No, I don't. Do I need a 4-channel amp? No, I don't. All of the sounds on it are absolutely fantastic. And hopefully it's gone now to somebody, and you're in the chat, you know who you are. I'll let you reveal yourself if you want to. it's gone to somebody who's going to give it a good bit of welly, as we say in these parts, hooking it up to a speaker cabinet and gigging the damn thing, which is what it deserves to do. You know, it's going to be earning its keep on a stage rather than just ticking over on my desktop. So that's gone. The other bit of gear-related news is that, I've been doing this fundraiser for the Ultra 2 Strat. There's a little bit of money in there, but not a hell of a lot. And I said that if it hadn't got anywhere near its goal by Christmas, I was going to wind it up. Well, I am going to wind up that fundraiser, and any funds that are in there will be just getting made as a donation to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, which was the sort of the intent all along. Excuse me, more beer. The idea was, as you know, as I've explained many times, I was going to buy the Ultra 2 Strat and then make a couple of videos with it and then donate the guitar to Zoe's Place. Well, they're getting a little lump of money instead, and I will obviously do that in such a way as to make it verifiable that that everything that has been donated is going to the cause concerned. It's not enough to just kind of say I want to be seen to be above board on that, so I'm going to kind of screenshot the or do some kind of screen recording as I'm kind of withdrawing the money and then donating it. So that'll probably crop up in a video at some point in the near future. And the other thing is, Viewers' Tales, one of the bits of doing this live stream that I enjoy the most. We've run out. There are no more, I don't think. Let me just go and have a look. I don't think I've got any left in stock. But if I have, then I am getting very, very low on them. So let's have a look. Viewers' Tales. No, that document is blank. If you have any amusing anecdotes of a music, guitar, gigging, whatever related nature, and feel free to gild the lily a little bit and kind of embellish for comedic effect, then send them along to me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and they'll go in the pile to be read out. Oh, excuse me, I've gone all snuffly. Have I got a hanky? Did your mother always used to say that to you, when you were leaving the house? Have you got a hanky? Have you put clean underwear on? What happens if you get run over? So anyway, we got Ben Allmark. Nice to see you in there, mate. Johnny D is saying, yet to break the 1K barrier. They'll have two well over that now, but that's down to historical purchases. Well, yeah, fair enough, mate. Malcolm Spillett is saying, the only guitar I own that was ever over the 4-figure mark is my Martin Booth Classic, which was my retirement present from the lump sum from my pension. Yep. Rexomatic, well over 1K dollars that is, on the Revolta Combinata 17, and still amazed how good the guitar is to me. Dr. Gomez said, you should have tried the blue guitar amp with the one control. Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, mate, I would have kept the blue guitar amp, but I had not a big hole in my finances, but I had a hole in my finances that needed filling because of having to buy a replacement one of these. This is the video camera that I use for recording all of my guitar-related parts. When you see the footage of me playing a guitar, it's recorded on that because this webcam that I'm on now. I know StreamYard is only 720p, so it's not the free version of StreamYard is only 720p, so the video quality on this live stream isn't necessarily optimum. But for doing the kind of hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition, all of that those parts of the videos, this webcam absolutely suffices, no problem. But it's not really up to snuff when it comes to filming me playing. So I needed a new camera, and that was 400 quid. So I've had to recoup some of those costs. And, given that I wasn't really using the blue guitar amp, and hadn't done for a while because of the UAFX Lion pedal, then I just thought, well, it's not going to be earning its keep. I need to plug the hole, especially as I say, I've got the joy, the unbridled joy, the thing that I'm looking forward to more than anything else. That's sarcasm, by the way. In January, of doing my tax return and making my contribution for those world-class public services that we enjoy in this country. Anyway, so yeah, who said that? Look at the dirt on the back of your neck. Mother's logic, yes. Malcolm Spillett is saying, I will be sending the Martin booth up for review in the not too distant future. Well, thank you very much, Martin. I know we've discussed that. Thank you so much, mate. I'm looking forward to that. And Spicy Badger is asking which camera I got. This is a Zoom Q8N-4K, which was 300 quid plus change on Gear for Music. And so that's what I've got. And the other one still kind of worked, but it was basically the thing that always goes on anything which recharges via USB. The thing which always kind of gives up is whether it's my vape, my phone, anything. The thing which always goes is the charging socket. For some reason, you'll get to a point where the damn thing just isn't taking a charge. And it got to a point where it would kind of only work if it was plugged in on charge. And then it just got to the point where it wouldn't even work doing that. At first, I thought it was the battery, so I replaced the battery. There was 35 quid for the battery inside it, and it was still the same. So, yeah, I had to bite the bullet and get a new camera. Point is, I had that last one 3 years, and if I get 3 years out of this one, well, the price of that, the price, let's call it round figures, 400 quid, the price of that spread out over, a 3-year period, hopefully longer, but let's say 3 years, divided by, how much it cost me per day to be using that camera. It's still, something that I can live. And of course, because I'm using it for me business, it's a tax deductible thing. So yes. Jay Aoyong's just bought a 54 reissue Les Paul custom with my retrenchment package. Oh, well, nice one, mate. Nice one. I had a Les Paul custom in here. Gosh, it's probably a couple of years ago now. Proper Black Beauty guitar. Not mine. Belonged to a student of mine that he'd won it in one of those Guitar Gear giveaway raffles. And he was actually overseas when he got notified that he'd won, and he asked if it would be okay with me if he had the guitar delivered here. So I thought, well, sometimes you just have to suffer for your art, don't you? So anyway, excuse me. I think I'm going to keep on battling this cough. I think I'm getting on top of it. Anyway, shall we have a little bit of a look at the first set of viewers' guitars for 2026? Most of these were sent before 2026, obviously, but these are. Come on, open the folder. Video's running. The computer's running a bit slow. That folder. Yeah, open the damn folder. Come on. Excuse me, I should have one of those little technical difficulties cards, shouldn't I, that I put up? There we go, and we're in. Right, so let's bring the first one up. God, it's running like a bag of spanners tonight. And then come back to StreamYard, and then go share screen, and then hopefully... Yes, here we go. As I say, it doesn't have to be a picture of guitars. Anything that you use to make music with is fine by me. We've got Austin Barrett's pedal board here, and running 2 amps, the Harley Benton Tube 15 and the Baby Bomb 30. I don't know what the Baby Bomb 30 is. One thing that did catch my attention about this particular pedal board, though, is I didn't know that there was a TC Electronic Jims 800. I've got the Jims 45, the JTM 45 pedal, and that's a belter of a pedal. But they've obviously, I must have missed this memo, that they're doing a JCM 800 in a pedal as well. I'm going to have to check that out now I know that exists. Another pedal I am curious about is this Combo Deluxe 65. Thinking about getting one of those, just so I've got a different flavour of tones. I am a self-confessed Marshall fanatic, fanboy if you want, but it would be nice to have just a different flavour of amp tone for when I'm doing demos. And what else have we got on here? We've got Delay, Sky Surfer. I'm going to probably think that's probably a reverb, and... Oh, I don't know. I'm not clued up enough on pedals to know what they are. I know, Austin, you probably told me in your email, but I forgot. Sorry. Anyway, moving on. Chris Ottewell and a Telecaster that he not only owns, but built. And he's given me some... an upgraded Harley Benton telly. Added Fender 72 Deluxe pickups, Fender bridge with Goto brass saddles. Yes, and I see you've kind of put your own little... moniker there on the headstock, Otter guitars. Chris makes some lovely guitars. Then one of the many pictures of guitars that has been sent me by this chap here, John North. This is his Epiphone Modern in Pelham Blue. I'm not quite sure. Pelham Blue is one of those colours that sometimes I look at guitars in that colour and think, oh, that's nice. And others, I think, not so sure. I'll give you an example. That is a nice-looking guitar in that colour. But the Dave Grohl signature in the same colour, I don't know. It doesn't offend me, but it just does. Like, I know that the Dave Grohl guitar isn't a 335, but it's a pretty close relation. For me, those guitars need to be cherry red or sunburst. And I just don't think Pelham Blue suits that, but it definitely suits that guitar. Another one from John North, another Epiphone Modern. And again, not sure what that colour is, but it's a fetching shade of is that a candy apple red? Is candy apple red something that Gibson refer to in their colour catalogues? I know Fender do, but nice, shiny, spangly, sparkly red colour there. And I am growing more and more fond of this Epiphone headstock, this revised one, without the corners clipped off. In fact, I think that, when they've done like the Epiphone Greenie, they've done some of the guitars with a full Gibson open book headstock, but with the Epiphone on there with that particular headstock shape, it doesn't look quite right. But that's a lovely looking, aesthetically pleasing design, I think. What have we got here? We've got Len McIver's Spark amp, which he assures is cool for cats. I had a Spark briefly and kind of, it all added up on paper, but I never loved it. When something ticks all the boxes and you should love it, and then you just find that, well, no, actually, so it ended up getting moved on. And his rather sleepy-looking cat there going, what the F? Anyway, Mr. Chris has sent me many pictures of guitars over the period I've been doing this, and this is another one of his. This is his ESP Eclipse. As you can probably tell, Mr. Chris is a left hooker, a southpaw. He plays the wrong way around, but we won't hold that against him. And then Raymondo. This is his Harley Benton TE20 MN. Back in the early days of the live stream, way back in 2020, there was one Friday when I didn't do the live stream, because our previous dog, Taylor, was in the vets with pancreatitis in the emergency vets. And one of my students at the time lives locally, was ferrying me back and forth to the vets, and kind of couldn't do enough for me. He was an absolute trooper. He's a chap called Kevin, and he was a good mate to me on that day. So I bought him one of these guitars as a little kind of thank you, and it rapidly became his favourite guitar. Just out because what else did he have? Bunch of other guitars, nothing kind of high end or anything, but like a Fender, I think either a Squier Strat or something, and a couple of other guitars. I think there was an Epiphone Les Paul in there as well. And this humble Harley Benton that cost about 70 quid when I bought it for him rapidly became his favourite guitar. So, they've got good bones, those guitars. And this isn't a picture of a pair of guitars, but it's a picture of a pair of rather handsome chaps. This is Rent to Kill and Cylon Hybrid, who are father and son. I never knew that, and I wasn't told that was a state secret, so I hope I'm okay revealing that. But there they both are. Obviously, kind of at the Riverside Stadium, shouting on 22 millionaires ruining a lawn. But if that's what floats your boat, then fair enough. Nice to put faces to names. So thanks for sending that. And what have we got here? Some of Sam's Yamahas. A TRB X305, his main bass, versatile and reliable, 5-stringer by the looks of it. A Revstar RC20, only the element level, but feel and quality and neon yellow. I had that very same model, but in the sort of metallic red, whatever they call that colour, and it was a beautiful guitar. And a 1980s FG acoustic, bought a few years ago with original hard case. One lady owner from you, I use it for open mics, and he's a Yamaha fanboy. And when you play the guitars, you can understand why. And this is one from Vincent Brennan, a gig standard Stratocaster type Japan import. This is a high-spec model from the Kurosawa musical, I think that's probably Instruments Factory. Not a brand I've ever heard of until I saw that picture. Gig guitars. Has anybody else got any experience of those? Certainly a lovely looking thing there. And I'm always, one of the first things that my eye is drawn to on any Fender style guitar is, does it run out of steam on the 21st fret, or has it got the correct number of frets, 22? And that one indeed does. So there you go. That's this week's bevy of beauties. Let me go and clear the cache so I don't inadvertently end up showing the same guitars 2 weeks in a row. Right, that's done. Well, it should have done that, but it didn't. Now it's done it. Thank you. Right, as I say, this computer, it's probably because the computer hasn't been switched on since Christmas Day. Let's have a look, see what I've been missing in the chat. Theme Tunes is saying, not only is Pelham blue a wonderful colour, Pelham is also P.G. Woodhouse's first name, so it's doubly cool. I didn't know that. I am a bit of a fan of Jeeves and Worcester. And like many people of my generation, I didn't start with the books. I started with a TV show back in the early 90s. Still watch reruns of it now whenever I can catch it. And, that inspired me to go and check out the books. Fantastic stuff. Where are we? Let's have a look. What else have I missed? Muleman saying, buy the new modded JCM 800 for only 4,000. F no. Yeah, indeed. I would not. I would, having suffered the joy and the pain of being a Marshall amp owner over many, many years. There's the joy when everything is just kind of dialed in and it's perfect, and you're getting that fantastic tone. You're getting the tone that, powers Angus Young and Thin Lizzy and, all of your favourite kind of records that you listen to growing up, and you're playing those riffs and those solos and everything. And your fingers are producing that sound. That's the joy of owning a Marshall amp. And then the pain is when you see the repair bills, because if you own a Marshall amp, there will be repair bills. Um, you know, it's just that's just a given. Let's have a look. What else have I missed? Metallic Cherry, says Jay Aoyong. That'll be for that Epiphone. And Jay Aoyong, I'm with you on that. I think you're probably talking about the Spark there. I can't handle the app, too many options, etc. I think the other thing that, remembering back to when I had the Spark, was its positive grid. And one of my first forays into amp sim technology, because I was a big devotee of the Vox Tone Lab, which I used for years and years and years. And it was an interface and a fantastic, intuitive amp modeler all in one. And I don't know, I just thought maybe I need to be using something a little bit more current. So I went and I started getting into amp sims. And one of my first ones was Positive Grid Bias Amp. And the sounds in that were just incredible. I loved that amp sim. Possibly my favourite amp sim I've ever used. Very little in the way of effects, just a smattering of reverb, and that was it. But for just generating pure raw amp tones, absolutely fantastic. And I thought that the tones in the Spark would be those same amp models, but they just weren't. The one where I really noticed it was the JTM 45 in Bias Amp. That was a beautiful sounding amp, but on the Spark app, it was just generic kind of Marshall-y kind of overdrive sound. Let's have a look. Where are we? What's going on? Let's have a look. Jay Young saying a friend of mine has a neon yellow. Nice choice. Yeah, that neon yellow Revstar. That was the one colour, strangely enough, that at the time when I bought my Revstar, I thought, no, I can't own a guitar that colour. It'll hurt my eyes. But whether my eyes have changed, or whether my tastes have changed, or maybe they've just changed the colour, dialed it back a little bit since then. But it doesn't it doesn't make me go ouch in the same kind of way. It does. It's a little bit less looking like a construction worker's high vis vest. Excuse me. Why is my phone pinging? What's going on here? Just a text. I'll read that later. Right. Vincent Brennan, what you're saying there, mate? Just had to have my oldest dog, Missy, in the animal hospital for the same thing. Luckily, I had just sold a couple of guitars. Vets are not cheap. She's back to normal now. Well, that's good news, mate. Yeah, we have health insurance for all of for every dog we've ever had. And it's normally there's like an excess to pay. But this time when he was at the emergency vets, they wanted payment up front rather than, okay, we'll claim it on the insurance, which was what our normal vets anyway. But that meant I had to sell a couple of guitars back then as well for that. Theme tunes, what you're saying there, mate? Bice is absolutely brilliant. It sounds unfortunately usable as software on a Mac. Yeah, you see, everybody that I speak to that uses a Mac tells me two same stories. One, that in terms of reliability and usability, it's flawless. But just forget about using a lot of your favorite software that you've kind of got used to and kind of got, like, I've been using the same video editing software since about 2018. It's just NCH Video Pad, and when you get sort of so used to it that you just you know all the keyboard shortcuts, and how to kind of basically make it do exactly what you want to do, and and it takes all of the kind of friction out of the workflow. But I don't think that is available for Mac. And given that editing videos is a big part of what I do, that's something that would weigh on my mind. There's a lot of the software that I use is PC based and only PC based. Muleman there is saying Fry and Laurie need to get together again for a series. Yes, that was they were the Jeeves and Worcester characters. Speaking of Hugh Laurie, I've just rewatched the first series of a show called The Night Manager, based on a John le Carré novel. The novel's great, and the book, the TV show, sticks pretty closely to the plot of the book, but not rigidly so. And Hugh Laurie is the main villain in that. And I rewatched the first series because the second series is just starting, and I think it's on Prime if anybody's interested in that. That's certainly where I'll probably be watching the second series. But yes, absolutely fantastic. And Hugh Laurie makes a damn fine evil villain in that. Theme Tunes is saying Hugh Laurie was amazing in House. That's a show I never saw. I never saw that one, but I've not heard anything bad about it. And he's quite an accomplished blues singer and boogie-woogie piano player as well, because he did at least one album of that kind of stuff. And you just think, and it's one of those dissonances where you're thinking, how can this possibly be the same person that played P.G. Woodhouse's Bertie Wooster, the upper class chinless wonder. It's a very talented guy. What else have we been talking about there? Let's have a wee look. Anton is saying Yamaha THR amps are fantastic practice amps, good effects without inducing option paralysis. I can vouch for that. I wouldn't say I've significantly changed my setup, although I guess I have, because I use two PCs now rather than just one. But back in the days when I needed, to be running everything on one PC. So I couldn't. So there were occasions when I couldn't play guitar through the PC at the same time, for instance, as doing a Zoom call. Now I just do the Zoom on this and then kind of play the guitar through that. But when I needed some alternative method of amplifying the guitar, especially during a Zoom call, I had a little Yamaha THR5, and it was great. And again, there was like an editor or an app that you could use with it, but it was just so intuitive just to use the controls on the top. Can't rule out getting another one of those just out of curiosity's sake. We shall see. Malcolm Spirit is saying Hugh Laurie plays guitar as well. I did not know that. Is there no end to this man's talents? I see J.R. Young saying, yeah, they were fantastic in Blackadder as well. Also love the fellow who played Baldrick, Tony Robinson. Yes. My missus was watching something the other day with Tony Robinson in. I can't remember what it was. Just probably one of her. My wife loves, these kind of gentle murder mysteries. If that's not a contradiction in terms of gentle murder mystery, like the kind of Agatha Christie, Miss Marple kind of things. But there's one set on a Caribbean island somewhere where and it's. And it's just like kind of Agatha Christie sort of stuff. It's not brutal kind of Quentin Tarantino style kind of murders. It's always just like the entertaining, light-hearted sort of stuff, if you can say anything about that involving a murder. And he was in one of those. I can't remember what it was, but Theme Tunes is saying it's called Cozy Crime in the trade. I will remember that, yes, because that's the man to ask. Because again, multi-talented chap there, Mr. Theme Tunes. He's he's a musician, he's a singer, and he's also a screenwriter. And he also, and I think this is his biggest claim to fame, he also played Rory the Lion in a kids' TV show from the 70s called Animal Quackers. Anyone remember that? It was sort of a British knockoff of Banana Splits. Muleman is saying Time Team was a great series. New episodes on YouTube minus Tony. Yeah, that was a surprisingly successful attempt to turn archaeology into a TV show, and it just like it's the one thing that I actually know an archaeologist, a lad called Andrew, same fella who that Les Paul Custom I was mentioning earlier belonged to. And he was saying that he hated that Time Team archaeology show. It was just so kind of, it trivialized his passion, and his kind of real deep knowledge of it, and it just the fact that you could kind of do a proper archaeological dig in the time available. He really got quite worked up and vexed about that show, but I used to like it. Let's have a look. You're not wrong there, mate. Archaeology did well at the movies. Indiana Jones, yes, but you didn't tend to see Indiana Jones kind of sitting in a 6-foot hole in the ground, gently with a paintbrush, brushing away soil from some artifact. There wasn't a lot of that kind of archaeology in the Indiana Jones movies. It was anyway. What else have we got? Triple X Paps is saying, when Rick Mail asked Tony Robinson, have you ever had the wind blowing through... where's that gone? Have you ever had the wind blowing through your hair whilst using this as a footstool? Yes. I think I remember that episode. Romancing the Stone, says Jay How Young. That was very much... it was one of those movies when... that kind of thing where a particular style of movie becomes popular, and then everybody kind of thinks, "Oh, we'll have a bit of that." That was, what was he called? Michael Douglas, cast in the sort of competitor to Indiana Jones kind of movie, wasn't it? It's the same when Back to the Future came along. Hollywood, the rival studios, thought we need to do a time travel movie, and they came up with that Peggy Sue Got Married film. I don't know if you remember that one, but I think I went to the cinema to see that. I think it was probably a date. Steve Cassidy saying, didn't they find some legit stuff on Time Team a few times? I can remember the time when they found a load of stuff that somebody had just clumsily buried. And like the clue was, I think there was like a medieval sword that they found in the ground, and then underneath the medieval sword there was like an electrical cable, so it's obvious like the sword had been put in the ground after the electrical cable. I seem to remember that one. Mr. Chris is saying, have you seen Mrs. Doyle on Corrie? Yes. Pauline McLean, the actress that played Mrs. Doyle in one of my favourite, if not my favourite TV show, Father Ted, has cropped up in Coronation Street, playing the owner of the pub, 30 years after she was in Father Ted. And it's a credit to her acting skills that she looks older in the 30-year-old episodes of Father Ted than she does in the current episodes of Coronation Street. Mark Card is saying, didn't Quantum Leap come out around the same time as Back to the Future? Possibly, mate, possibly. I seem to remember that was kind of late 80s or thereabouts, wasn't it? So when was Back to the Future? That was 85. So who knows? Time travel did sort of become the cool thing back then, didn't it? And strange enough, around about the time that they cancelled one of the one of the more iconic time travel shows, Doctor Who. Let's have a look. What else? Death in Paradise. That's the one I was trying to think of. Mule Man. Yes, that's the one the other day that my missus was watching, and Tony Robinson, was in. Ian Clark is saying time team's standard response to any enigma must be part of a religious ritual. Yes, I remember hearing that. I think he's dead now, isn't he? That chief archaeologist that was on there, because there was one that was a bit of a yokel, wore like a Stetson hat with kind of long hair coming out the side. And we used to call him the yokel in the hole, because he was always in the hole, kind of trying to unearth some artifact. And there was the other guy who looked a bit like sort of a human representation of Paddington Bear, but I think he died a little while ago. Fozilla is saying, my favourite scene from Father Ted is to Dougal, this is close, that is far away. Yes, that's just one of those classics. That's up there with the the Andre Previn, Morecambe and Wise sketch, the two Ronnies, Four Candles sketch. It's just one of those classic comedy moments. So see, the cough's gone. I told you it works. There's some Phil and Mick. Those are the ones. Those are the archaeologists. There's a lot of American viewers watching this now who haven't a clue what we're talking about, kind of niche, kind of British TV shows that no one's ever heard of. If you're A, under the age of 40, and if you're B, not in the UK. So it's like in all my videos, and I keep saying this, don't forget the live stream every Friday at 5 p.m. UK time, where we drink beer and talk about guitar and music and other things as well. This is very definitely in the other things as well, kind of thing, isn't it? 1997 Ghost is saying, why did you part with a PRS S2 standard that you had? Quite simply, mate, because I had an injury to my hand. And I had to adapt the way that I played after the injury, and the neck just wasn't it was playable, but it just wasn't as comfortable a neck as I remembered before the injury. I have limited use from this third finger on this hand now, and so I tend to have to bunch up other fingers to kind of take up the slack, and it just wasn't as comfortable a guitar. That said, my hand is kind of gradually on a glacial speed. I'm noticing I'm getting more use out of that finger over the last year or so. So I am starting to possibly regret selling that guitar, but we shall, what's done is done. I've got my dream guitar here now. This one here, this is, that's the bee's knees, that guitar. Love it. Anyway, what are we? Mark Hard saying, true, but I have my other screen up with a browser up to look at all these British shows, fun stuff. Well, that's nice to know, mate. Anyway, we're 59 minutes plus change in, so by the time I've done my usual wrap-up, that'll be it for today. Thank you once again for turning up and watching a fat, bald Northern lad talk absolute bollocks for an hour. As I say, I hope you had a fantastic Christmas, and I'll just say again, have a fantastic and prosperous and, health, wealth and happiness to you for the coming 12 months. And I'll see you all again in a week's time. So thanks for turning up, everyone. I'll keep doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.